Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird, back again with more Enigmatica 2 Expert Mod Pack playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2. As always, we are joined by our lovely avatar Zombie Steve. Lots of stuff. I've been doing lots of chores off camera. I've been slowly working towards flux nets stuff so that we can have flux points and flux plugs for wireless transfer of power that isn't so lossy as making power cells everywhere. So for that, you need to actually grind up a dimensional transceiver. And for that, I've done things like I went and got another Enderman soul to make an Ender crystal. I've got most of this done except for... what am I missing here? Actually, the teleporter I have. Teleporter frames, I need to finish those off. I need to make these. I've got the components, I just haven't made them yet. But one of the problems I have here, when I look at all of this stuff, is the octatic capacitors require, most of this other stuff I can do, but they charge Draconium block. So we got some Draconium in the Twilight Forest, and that's where I am again today. So I have Draconium blocks, but I gotta charge them. And for that, I need a crafting core, and I can do most of this. It's just a bunch of black iron for the pedestals. Osmiridium ingots. I actually made some of those with iridium and osmium in our advanced metallurgic fabricator. It's when I get up here to crystalline ingot. So crystalline ingot is made in a 7x7 elite crafting table. I currently only have the 5x5 one, so I need to upgrade. And if we take a look at that, that's a bit of a pain in the butt. So in my spare time, while waiting for crafting recipes to go and or being distracted from other stuff, working on the Nuclearcraft furnace fusion reactor that we're working on, I've gotten most of this built. Most of this was pretty easy. I didn't actually need to because I got some blitz rods, but I even went out and got a blitz soul in case I decide I need a powered spawner for that. So for the 4 elementals, Blaze, Blizz, Basals, and Blitz, I now have 3 of the powered spawners and can make the 4th. So that's sort of cool. So I have all the rods that I'll probably ever need, or will as soon as if I need to make the Blitz powered spawner. So basically all I have left for this bad boy is the cell frames. So I got to go back through the joy of the Empowerer and make all of these. And then I got to go back through the joy of... we know how to make this stuff. We just recently made one of these. I forget what for. But I should have made more extras, but it was pretty time consuming. So we can make all that. It's not that hard. I don't have it auto crafted, and it's a lot of steps. So we're getting close to being able to upgrade to the elite crafting table, which will then allow us to make crystalline, which will allow us to make the crafting core, which will allow us to make charged Draconium blocks, which will allow us to make octatic capacitors, which will allow us to make the dimensional transceiver, which will allow us to make flux core. So flux cores can be made by taking an existing flux core and just adding flux and obsidian to it. But to get this very first one, you have to sag mill the dimensional transceiver, and so that's what I'm working on now. And so I'm going to go ahead and So I haven't been using, I don't use these bookmarks very often, but this, because I really don't seem to need it too much, but this mod pack is so interconnected and so huge and so crazed and has so many crafting steps when you get up into this high level stuff that I've been using it. And it took me a while to figure it out, but basically you just mouse over something in the crafting and hit A, and it adds it. If you mouse over it again here and hit A, it goes away. So A, add, or not, whatever. I don't know what A means. So anyway, as you saw, I needed a couple Draconium blocks. I did want to continue playing with the scanner a bit, because if I just do nothing but craft for hours on end, I get cranky. I changed my first scanner module block back to lithium ore, because we had tested it by searching for rotating elevators, and it worked. And so what I just did was I came here and searched out a, let's see, first we open this up. You can see I made a second scanner module block. To get this to Draconium, you find some Draconium and you shift right click and set it from blank to a Draconium ore. And so I strip mined over here for a second, found one, set it up, installed it, shift right click to open up the GUI for the scanner, install it, and then I scanned. And as you can see, there's lots of little things here, so these blue things are it. And one thing I noticed and wanted to show real quick is that it shows this potential spawn area, so it shows it in cubes. So again, if we look at this real quick, there's 2 here, but it's showing a cube of them. So that was sort of an important safety tip. I got excited that there might be 4 here, but no, there's just the 2. But anyway, that is a great way to find some more. I can be a bit more selective about how I attack things here. So I saw there was a big chunk over here, which is probably 2 pieces. So if I come over here, oh, I can actually see it. Yeah, I see it. And again, it's probably showing up as a cube, but it's actually only 2 diagonally. So if it only spawns in veins of 1 or 2, don't be fooled into thinking you're getting a vein of 4. So yeah, see if there's any more close to a wall somewhere. Don't really need any more. We're getting pretty close to being able to go to the deep dark. So I will head back. The other thing I did was, scanner-wise, was I made an entity module. What I'm going to try to do with that is the next time I run into a dragon, or I might actually go search out a dead dragon, because they don't necessarily show as dead, and try to tune it to that, and then use it to try and find a dragon lair. And then another thing I did was made structures. Let's take a look at that real quick. Sorry, you can tell this is my new favorite toy. Take that out, put structures in, and I'll show you what structures does real quick. If we do this, and then look around, we can see these little information eyes. So there's a mine shaft in that direction and a village in that direction. And that's about all we see. So what I'm hoping in is that if there was, I think the dragon lairs are down near bedrock. So if I ran over here, let's try this again way over here. There's a mine shaft, village. Alright, not really seeing anything extra. But anyway, sometime when I'm looking for something else to do, I will go ahead and wander the earth and do that a bunch of times and see if I can't find us a dragon lair or some other ice and fire weirdness. I'm not even sure if ice and fire things like a dragon lair show up as structures. They might not. But, I figured it's worth a shot. And I know there are other types of dungeons that I haven't seen yet. So anyway, that's what's going on there. New toys. Gotta love new toys. So I'll put all that away for now. What else am I doing? So, I'm trying to get into Flux Networks. I'm trying to yeah, so we got this set up at the end of last episode. So now, before I got distracted with scanners and Flux Networks, I was trying to decide what to do with Deuterium for fuel for this bad boy. I think what I'm probably going to do is maybe open up a little portal here and make a little Deuterium farm right behind this thing. See what's going on behind here. And then I'll just pipe the Deuterium out this way. So let's break out the hammer. Basically all I really need is, let's see, let's do it. This. Basically all I need is room for 8 pumps and 2 electrolytic converters. And I'll power them with a power cell for now. So I'm gonna not make you watch me make a little room here. But yeah, we're just gonna have a little side shaft on this room and put in, I gotta think of a nice little arrangement for them. But let's see. Anyway, yeah. So that shouldn't be hard to do. So that's my chore for today. In the spare time, I'm also going to continue to fart around with getting Flux Networks so we can get away, hopefully, from this power cell stuff. What am I doing? Trying to talk, chew bubblegum, and walk at the same time. That's what. Alrighty. So, I will be back. I've already sort of babbled and spent 10 minutes talking about a scanner. But I'm going to set up my dilithium or my deuterium room here. A couple pools, maybe 8 pumps, a couple of electrolytic separators, and figure out how to pipe it over here. And I probably won't pipe it over there yet. I mostly just want to get it running and fill up a barrel with deuterium so that we have fuel ready. I probably should have done that before I started making all of this structure. However, I knew there were other things I wanted to do in parallel, like say work on Flux Networks. So there's always things to do in parallel, and I don't actually need this power yet. I'm just being proactive. I guess you could say I need it because I can't really I'm concerned about upgrading my void miners until I get that power. And I think I've got all the materials now to upgrade my void miners. But I'm not going to do it until I turn this bad boy on. So it is slowing down my progression that I'm not doing that. But there are so many things to do here. It's all important stuff. They're all good dogs, Bront. So I will jump cut here and set up my room and be back and show you what I got. Alright, so fast forward a little bit. I have cleaned out a room. I got a water pool going. I'm installing the pumps. I'll have some electrolytic separators in here too, but I wanted to show you where we're at. So as you may notice from this room, this is the first time I've ever really gotten a chance to play with at Chisel. There's like the Futura blocks. There's the factory blocks. And there's the laboratory blocks. And so I'm trying to incorporate a little more aesthetics into this because mostly I've been very utilitarian and just sort of trying to keep progression and new mods straight in my head. But now that I'm getting a feeling for what's going on, I want to try and, add a little bit more style. However, my style is going to be sort of tacky because there's all these new blocks to play from. I'm used to just being able to have world blocks and chisel them, but to actually have all these special textures, I'm going to play around with them a bit. So things might be a little bit busy. This room's already giving me a bit of motion sickness with these big fans. But, hey, it's something to do, right? So we're going to throw down... I think I'm going to go with 10 pumps. So I'm going to go make a couple more because they're pretty cheap to make. So they have to be over water. I think the water needs to be an infinite pool. And they go down with the power away from you. So the power's down the middle. So I intentionally did them like this so that I could just run one power cable down the center. The liquids will come out the top. I also need to go make filter cards so that they only pull out deuterium, I think. I haven't set that up before, so we'll get it figured out. But anyway, here's where we are at so far. I might also put in some lighting. Yeah, I'm going to go grab some lighting as well. So I'm going to pause here, go get two more pumps, 10 filter cards, a little bit of lighting to be a bit more consistent than in my Astral Sorcery Wisps here, and be right back to wire this bad boy up. Alright, 2 more pumps, added a few spots of light, brighten up the place a little bit. And so now we are going to probably run the fluids, run the power to a power cell somewhere right around here. So let's see, I need power. So something about like that until I figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. We're going to put a power cell somewhere right around there, and we're also going to power a couple of electrolytic separators, leave myself a little room for anything else I need in here. Now we got to... One thing I want to do before I get carried away is I don't want these things to fill up with water quite yet. So I want to make sure I get the filters in there. So I have filter upgrades mechanism, a filter that separates heavy water from regular water. Good. And I've also got some speed upgrades. I need a lot more speed and energy upgrades. I don't know what I was thinking, only grabbing 10. I only needed 10 of the filters, but I need more like 80 each of the others. I'm going to shift right click on them to install these real quick as opposed to going through the interface, although I think I just... Okay. Bang, bang, bang. Will it let you install the same one twice? No, okay, good, because I think I misfired on one of those. Alright, so they've all got the filters in them now, so that's good. Setting them all. Probably don't need to deal with them, but it's probably good form to turn off insert. Do I have the correct wrench with me? That's always a question. Mechanism. Shift M to cycle through things. I think wrench breaks things in the mechanism, not changes them. So maybe it's, no, this is the energy conduit. So if I do this, all right, that's not doing it. Oh, that's because it's an ender. Darn it. All right, so for the ender, man, so many mods. I apologize. Getting all mixed up in my head. For ender, I need the Yetta wrench. And let's see if I can quickly cycle these. Yes, out, 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 out. No, this is, I'm thinking fluids. This is in. And since it is energy, it's not like I have to worry about these putting out energy. So this is a waste of time. I'm getting all confused. It's late. It's a long day. I'm just going to make the arrows look right now because now that I've started, I can't stop. So I'm putting energy in to all 10 of these bad boys. And now that I've wasted that time, I am going to get some ender fluid conduits. Might as well keep my Yetta wrench out. So here I want to run, I guess, just parallel pipes. And I could bring them down to join this block, but I think it'll be easier if I just run them like this until I decide what to do with them. Because these are actually going to come to a storage, heavy water storage buffer tank once I decide what that's going to look like. Yet I rich these to just out only. Not that I think they will accept stuff in, but there are times when this matters and times when it doesn't. And if I, and if I do it always, then there's less chance of me not doing it when I need to, even if there is a chance of me then doing it when I don't need to, if that made any sense. I waste less time doing it more often than I should than the amount of time I would if I didn't set things up and it didn't work and I'd have to troubleshoot it all. Alright, so a power cell, I do have one of those on me, I believe. Here. Go ahead and set that right there. That looks like a good spot for it. And we're going to set this for out. How is this linked? That is linked correctly. It's got power. Yes. All right, these have power. They have power and are collecting heavy water. Bueno. Now we need a tank. I think I'm going to pause the recording here and go make a tank. I have some 32 bucket ones, but I'd sort of like a bigger buffer than that. So let me go see what else I've got on hand. I don't need a 4,000 bucket buffer, but I'd like something maybe, 100, 120 bucket buffer to put here and run my heavy water into before feeding it into my electrolytic separators. So I'm going to pause the recording here, go get that, figure out where I'm going to put my electrolytic separators and start getting those wired, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got delayed by my enchanting table, which decided to go on a bad run, and I had to cycle it a bunch of times to put holding 4 enchantment on my portable tank. But now we have got that upgraded from basic to hardened to reinforced to signalum, and put holding 4 on it, and it'll hold 1,536 buckets. That ought to do me. So let's slap that bad boy down. Maybe here. And bring my fluid ducts. Like so. These guys are probably all full of... Oh, no fluid. Did it already all go in here? Oh yeah, it already did. So we've already got 91 buckets. Bueno. Hey, we can make heavy water. But let's take a look at how fast we're making it. Not super fast. Fortunately, I have crap loads of enchantments to help with that. So let's put the energy ones in first so that I don't give myself a brownout. I'm going to shift, right click them in. Because it seems to go a bit faster than doing it through the interface. And it won't let you put in more than 8. Alright, so far so good. And I have 16 left over for the 2 electrolytic separators, so that all groks. So let's just add in now the speed ones. And then we will check out how much heavy water we're getting, how fast. I have a feeling this is going to end up like my melon farm, where I have way more capability than I need. But, you know, whatever. Better to have too much than too little. Alright, now we're climbing at, looks like almost a buck in a second. That'll probably do me. And that buffer is plenty big. And we got plenty of power going in. And all is wonderful. So that leaves us the electrolytic separators. So I need to go, let's see, I got those. Got these things for them. I need to take a moment and go grab something to drink and then think about where I'm going to set these up, and then we'll get them set up. Be right back. All right, I am back. Sorry, I got distracted, and then I realized I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to wire everything, and I'm just now sort of getting back together and into things. But let's see what I got. First thing is I decided to go, I realized that the electrolytic separators output gaseous deuterium, and that I would have to then condense them into a liquid. And then I started looking from that realization, I started looking further and further into the whole difference between gases and liquids, and what I was going to do and where I was going to put everything. Things got a little crazed. That's active and see what's going on here. So the goal here is, and we'll see if it works, We've got heavy water fluid coming into this. This is sort of our buffer tank, just so I can monitor, where my bottlenecks are. Of course, power is going into the pumps, and then power is going into the electrolyzer. We're going to take heavy water down into the electrolyzer. Heavy water, it will turn it into 2 doses of deuterium, and then it will also make oxygen and a bit of tritium. Yes. Now I don't have a use for the oxygen right at the moment, so I need to find a place for that to go. Unlike the mechanism ones, this does not have a, just dump it if you don't like it. So I've got all of the things coming out of the electrolyzer, liquids, with ender fluid conduits. And just to keep things straight, I probably over-engineered this. But just to keep things straight, I've got the bottom tank is my deuterium, whitelisted. And it is got 29 buckets of deuterium, so that's good. The second bucket up is inserting, and it's whitelisted for tritium. Now tritium I will have a use for, because I may eventually want to convert this reactor over to a deuterium tritium instead of deuterium as the 2 fuel sources. So in other words, instead of doubling up deuterium, I might want to mix deuterium and tritium once I build up a buffer of tritium. So the top one here is trash, and that is whitelisted for oxygen, which I don't have a use for right at the moment, and a lot of things make it. So I can make more of that later if I decide I need it. So then I also started looking at how I was going to wire this out there, and I'm almost to Flux Networks for energy, and I really want to start going wireless on a lot of stuff. And so I thought I would play with ender tanks for the first time. I've been using the EnderStorage ender chests with my digital miner, and with some other stuff like my void miners, and I've been loving them. So I thought I would try an ender tank. So what I've got going on here is, it's hard to see, but the buttons on the bottom, on the top of the bottom tank, are the default white. And then if we look here, that other one is blue white. So you click a bit of blue dye on this button. If we get a little closer, you can see you can outline just the button. And put it on a different channel. So I am extracting deuterium out of my buffer drum here, and I'm inserting it in here. It's not necessary to have anything whitelisted because I'm going 1-to-1 here. And that's my fuel. So now let's go take a look at where that fuel goes. So that fuel is coming up here to the paired white ender tank, which is full and not being used or drained because this isn't on yet. So this is where the deuterium comes, and this is going to be, if I understand correctly, it will suck this through the bottom. If not, I'll have to run a tube here and pump it into the fusion core. But I think once the fusion core comes online, it will suck that in. We shall see. But if not, I'll just put a fluid conduit there and pump it in. And now let's look at the outputs of this bad boy. So over here I've got an ender fluid conduit extracting from the fluid core, or from the fusion core. I've got another fluid trash can from extra utilities. This is, again, I've probably overdone it with the whitelists, but they're cheap and help me keep things straight. So here there's going to be 4 products coming out of the fusion reaction. So there's going to be helium-3, which I don't have a use for right at the moment and probably never will. There's going to be hydrogen, which I don't have a use for right at the moment. I might in the future, but I can always make it. Hydrogen and oxygen are really simple to get from a lot of different reactions. So if I need them, I can get them later. And so I have whitelisted both of those to go into the fluid trash can. And for just to show how the fluid things work, you can open this and then you can grab this and drag and then place it over there. So that's sort of handy. So then for going into this is a, can't see the buttons too well. So this is a blue, white, white ender tank, which is linked up to my tritium. So I'm going to have the output tritium here. And I hope it's the same tritium so that it doesn't freak out. Let's double check that. It's sort of a light blue tritium, but that is going into this and hopefully returning to my collection drum of tritium over here. So it comes to this blue, white, white, gets extracted, and then goes into here. And let's just make sure that these look the same. Yeah, it's sort of a light blue tritium. So hopefully the tritium that we're making from heavy water electrolysis and also from the fusion core will both join this 4,000 barrel reinforced large drum, and I will have tritium in the future if I decide to switch this bad boy over from just straight deuterium to deuterium tritium. And then lastly, here in this tank, so this is only a, how much does this have? I think it has about 1,000 or something, 1,500 capacity in this tank, and it is collecting, let me check the white list, neutron fluid. So that is the fourth thing coming out of here. We got the helium and hydrogen that I don't need. We got the tritium that I want to use later and I'm collecting over in the heavy water room. And then we have the neutron fluid, which I will probably want to use later, but you make it in small amounts. So this ought to last me a while. So that is hopefully all of the plumbing, I think. Let's take a look at how things are going over here. This is only at 107 buckets. I have not put in any speed upgrades yet. I'm not sure how many I want to put in. That speeds it up. Probably what I want to do is put it in to the point where I'm actually outpacing or just underpacing my pumps. And it looks like could maybe go a little higher. A little higher. A little higher. Probably ought to put some energy in there. How fast are things going? Pretty darn fast. This is probably overkill, but I do just want to see how fast things can go. Alright, so my tank is going down slowly now. So I am outpacing my pumps. That's good because I didn't want to have to build another electrolyzer. Still doing that. Pumps are all empty. Alright, slowing down. I'll take one more out. I was originally thinking it was probably going to be around 6 to 8 that I would want to put in there. Still going down. Maybe we only need 5 in here. Really what matters is that I'm keeping up with the fusion reactor, of course. And if I'm not, then I will have to create more potter. We'll have to blow this wall out and make another bank of electric pumps. Another reason I went ahead with the Nuclearcraft Electrolyzer is not only is it creating liquid deuterium, so I didn't have to take it from gas back to thing, but these Nuclearcraft machines are fast. Fast, fast, fast. All right, we're about reaching even now. I'm going to leave it right about there. It's okay if it chugs a little every once in a while. And how much are we getting in here? Not... Oh, we're looking at deuterium. So deuterium is going up roughly a bucket a tick, maybe? That's probably going to be fine. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I don't need all of these, so I'll take these down to maybe about a... I think we'll keep it comparable. I don't even know if you get credit. I'm pretty sure Nuclearcraft is the one where... yeah, the maximum number is whatever you have installed for speed. So, we're good there. We're roughly making deuterium as fast as we're making heavy water, so that's fine. That's all good. All of this seems to be working. I don't have any kind of backlog of oxygen causing me problems, so everything's going to the trash can there. The tritium is going up, which is good. Deuterium's going up faster because it makes deuterium, tritium, oxygen. Everything is going fine. I think our plumbing is working. The only thing we don't know for sure yet is if the output here is going to be all wired correctly, and I don't know if this will automatically suck deuterium out the bottom or if I'll have to pipe it. But yeah, we are wired, or plumbed, I should say. This turned out okay. This room with all the fans is giving me a little motion sickness. As I said, I'm sort of experimenting with aesthetics because I've been so utilitarian graystone bricks for most of this because I was so overwhelmed with all of the new mods that I'd never used before. But now that I'm sort of getting the hang of a lot of these mods, I'm going to try and all the new stuff that I build, I'm going to try to at least, make it somewhat interesting. Try all of these Futura and laboratory and factory blocks and just see what I like and what I don't like so that the next time I play a more relaxed version where I spend a lot more time trying to make things look nice, I will have some ideas of things that I like and things that I don't like. For instance, not a huge fan of my doodling of pipes on the walls. I think that is a bit unnecessary, but I had a free stack of that, so I thought I'd give it a try. Let me turn this off. It looks sort of interesting. I am a fan of the enlightened fused quartz as lighting fixtures and also on the ground. Those are turning out nice. We're in business, so what we have to do next is we have to, if I understand correctly, we have to basically charge these 192 electromagnets around the outside by slapping a few power cells around there. And then once those are all charged, it will come online, but then we got to ignite it by pumping a crap ton of power into the fusion core to get ignition and get up to a self-sustaining temperature. So that's something we can work on next episode. And do I have any other news or anything else to talk about? think we're, oh, the other thing is active cooling. Now, I'm not sure how fast this will come up to temperature, probably not horribly, but I want to be at least semi-prepared for active cooling. So I might prepare some active cooling blocks. We might start with some water, and if it turns out to not be good enough, we might then get into some gelid cryothium. But I at least want to have that in my back pocket and have a plan in case this thing starts getting too hot too fast. So maybe that's what we'll try to do next episode, or it's sort of a big task getting this bad boy up and running. So it might take one episode to get it up and running, and then another to get it cooled and get its peak efficiency and figure out how it's going to work out for us. So that's what's coming up. And also, if I head back downstairs, I think I noticed, let me double check. In passing, I believe I noticed that, yes, we have another sextuple compressed cobblestone from this setup. And I think that's our fourth one, I think. Let's check it out. Sex time. Yay! 4 of those. So, deep dark portal. Do we got what we need? Oh, what are we missing? A draconium ingot. I can fix that. Look at me all auto crafting and stuff. Just like a big boy. I wasn't an expert when I started this, and I still won't be one when I finish this, but I'm getting a lot closer. Now watch, because I said that, this is going to hang. And I think it is. What did I do wrong with this? Not an expert yet. I did admit that before I opened my mouth, but I am closer. Let's see. Where do I have that? What did I want to do here? Interface terminal. Draconium. It's in my alloy furnace. So, what is wrong with this picture? Is it that I didn't want to put it in this alloy furnace? I wanted to put it in a different spot? Yes, that it is. So which furnace did I want to put that in? Draconium ingot. What machine had I meant to put that in? I think I probably meant to just put it in one of my basic smelters. I don't think there's any reason to put it anyplace fancier. So let's grab that bad boy out of here. Go over to here. And hey, there it is. Dun dun dun. See, not expert yet, but getting closer. And speaking of getting closer, deep dark portal. Ooh. So that is nice. That means I think that we can go to the deep dark and get even more draconium. And that means that I'm probably going to let this whole cobblestone thing run for a while, but I'd sort of like to stop that. I guess it's not hurting anything there, and I might have use for it later, but I should check into that, and if so, I would need to make something more organized. I slapped all this mess together just to get us to the deep dark. But now that we are going to the deep dark, if I want to keep this going, I need to make it nicer. I do like I can put all these compacting drawers all close to each other and tidy this all up, and hide all that away, and it doesn't need to be here anymore since I'm not putting it. The only reason it was here was I was piping things into my ME import bus in this crate, but that was too much craziness, so I ended up changing to pumping it into drawers to self-compact so that I didn't have to take just basic cobblestone, hundreds and thousands of it into my ME system, uncompressed. All right, I'm babbling at this point. I have probably gone over my self-imposed time limit, but I think we are good to go here. Next time we'll try to ignite and try to cool and see how far we get. Talk to you next time.